What's going on, guys? It's me, Shukashu. We are back with another Uma Musume, Musume Global video. My bad. And here we are. We're going to go back to training Eishin Flash. Because it is medium distance, right? I'm not tripping. Or is it mile distance? How did I forget this already? I think it's medium distance, right? It goes back to medium distance 2200s. Let me double check. I might as well double check because now I feel dumb. Yeah, it is 2200. Okay, so I did remember correctly. Thank God. So we're going to be training Eishin Flash, the Valentine's one, once again. For the well, because the last time I trained her, I thought I was training her for the next CM or the CM at that time, but I forgot it was a mile distance, so that became just a free run that day. So today's video, we're actually going to be trying to train her. As for the setup, as you guys can see, I am trying something different. I am going with 1 speed card, Kita, 3 guts cards, Air Groove, Haru, and I believe that's Yukino Bijin, right? Yeah, Yukino Bijin. And then Marvelous Sunday and borrowing a Nice Nature Wise card for my Wise cards. Basically banking on good RNG for speed, getting some speed help from Guts and Wise, and hoping that speed and Guts is good enough along with the inheritance to get power high enough to maybe 1200, who knows, maybe 1000 at the very least, maybe higher, who knows. And then I'm just hoping I can somehow squeeze stamina somehow. Other than that, if I don't, well, I could just use this Eishin Flash as more of a debuffer, if anything, if it comes down to it. So that's going to be the case for this setup for Eishin Flash. We're going to get the run started. If you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description down below. So with that being said, let us get started with the run. See how it goes. I'm just hoping we can get some of the, or get most of the bonds done fairly quick. That is probably the main thing I am most worried about in the beginning of these trainings, and make a new track to be more specific, is because of the uncertainty that I'll be able to bring up these bonds fairly early. And that's normally the case that you want to do for your runs anyway. So let's just hope that would be the case this time around for me. Can we get 2 somewhere else? Yeah, we probably would want to do that for speed, but I think I want to try and preserve some of the stamina, or yeah, energy, just so I can not need to rest. But if I have to, we'll rest. For the most part, before the debut, I'll try not to rest, but I'll rest at least once when it comes down to it. Also, did I bring up Eishin Flashes? No. No. Hey, let's hope we can get one of the next trainings at the very least to be on speed. This might lower her motivation or her mood. Might. Okay, I'll give it to this. I probably should have given the stamina, but I'm a little bit worried about speed being kind of low right now. There we go, and we should. She used it. That means I'll probably just rest at the beginning of the next turn. After the debut. Maybe. Unless it's a wise training. Oi. It makes sense. I kind of expected that. Like I said, I was worried about my speed. So the fact that I had to use a a clock there already is kind of... Okay, that's going to load. Yep, I probably should. Probably should rest. Regardless, because... Alright. Then we want to schedule the races. Unfortunately, I didn't bring up Wise, so... I can't really... I mean, not Wise, Mile, so I can't necessarily use Mile. So I'll just go back to my medium distance one, and then we'll just straight up rest. Then from here, we have a few turns until things. So I'm gonna go over the comments now. There's one comment from the last video, the Saiyan Sky video, and there's one more comment that I didn't go over like 2 or 3 videos ago. From Derpy Noob, so I'm gonna go over that as well. Might as well. Actually, I'll go over that first. So that comment says from Derpy Noob, it was from the Group B Round 2 Day 2 video. Was that 3 videos ago? I think, yeah, that was 3 videos ago, because there was the Saiyan Sky, then the Group B finals, and that one. Should I risk that? Yeah, I'll risk it. You see why I don't like those single digits? I don't trust single digits either way when it comes to training. Because stuff like that happens. And the fact that my speed is still very kind of low kind of worries me a little bit. But the comment from Derpy Noob says, "What up, everybody? The Derp is back. Welcome back." I did see you on the comment section in the JP side, but this did come before that comment, so been a bit, but life has been crazy on my end. Mother has been in and out of the hospital. I fell off a truck at work, then got fired by accident, and now I have my job back, so I haven't been on Uma too much, but I'm back now. I may crank it into gear for Grand Live and so on. Well, first things first, I hope your mom feels better, where she doesn't have to be in the hospital. That way she can be out of the hospital. I hope she feels better and stays better, or stays healthy, so she doesn't have to go to the hospital. 2, welcome back. 3, are you good from falling off the truck? Are you good too? And the fact that you got fired by accident, that's kind of... was there any like compensation or anything for the mistake? That feels kind of weird that you would get accidentally fired. I would assume there's some like compensation or something for that, right? I could be wrong. It just feels wrong in a way that you wouldn't, because I would assume it was an inconvenience. Unless it was fixed right away, then forget what I said. If it wasn't fixed right away, then yeah, I would say it's an inconvenience to you, but I'll let you explain that. But other than that, welcome back. I hope you and your mother or mom is doing well, because I don't know how you've been since you fell off the truck, or if you sustained any injuries, and I just hope your mom is staying healthy so she doesn't have to be in and out of the hospital. And then thank you, Derpy Noob, for the comment. Appreciate it as always. And then the last comment that I'll be going over is from Rick. I speculate based on vibes. And remember, when they announced Smash Ultimate, I think they could announce the next Smash around August or September, with the release being on December. I don't know, because yeah, it's been quite some time since Kirby Air Riders. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because Sakurai's secret project after after Smash Ultimate. So he was working on that the whole time. So chances are he probably has nothing done for the next Smash game. And I don't think that's enough time for Sakurai to come up with a game or design come up with the plans and go through with the game. Make the game. That's what I think, at least. That is what I think, at least. Because it's not even been a year since Kirby Air Riders have been out. So I don't think they couldn't. I would say they could announce it, but I don't think it's gonna come out in December, unless they really work that fast. Because they had, from my assumption, Sakurai didn't touch anything Smash related, or Smash related basically, since he was working on Kirby Air Riders. Because we are losing this race pretty bad, aren't we? Because they haven't really fixed any characters since Sora's release. So that means Steve stayed basically the best character in the game, because they didn't do any changes on him, because all the Steve mains were busy labbing all this madness prior to the end of the updates for Smash Ultimate. So yeah, I don't think this year at all. I'll be honest. I don't think this year at all the next Smash would be released. Announced, maybe. I'll give it that at the very least. That'll probably get announced. But that's even stretching it, considering that he did finish, or Kirby Air Riders was released literally not even a year ago yet. So yeah, I don't think so. Not this year. Announced, maybe. Also, Sakurai also says that the last Smash he works on is going to be the last Smash he is going to work on, but he always comes back. Well, that's because he's not sure if he's going to really do it. Especially now, the whole everyone's here theme in Smash Ultimate is kind of like the biggest wall he has to face, because now I'm assuming you're going to talk about this in the rest of your comment, because now he doesn't want to disappoint people or the fans to get rid of any characters. It's because obviously there's people there's certain people who like every single character. There's a fan for that character, regardless of who it is. Whether it's Castlevania with Richter and with the Belmonts, basically Richter and Simon, or who else can I think of randomly? Heck, they could remove like a Fire Emblem character, whether it be Chrom. Heck, they could even remove Robin if they wanted to. And then they might even remove some of the Pokemons, maybe, just to lower it down. We might not see Greninja anymore, or even Lucario. They might just keep PT, Pikachu, or they might even get rid of Pichu if that's the case. And keep Puff. But yeah, a lot of this is just like there's a big wall that Sakurai needs to go figure out, because if he does choose to get rid of some characters, he would have to really have to carefully select on which ones. I would think so. And then on top of that, another reason why is because I would assume that Nintendo would love for Sakurai to make it, obviously, because if I'm not mistaken, Smash Ultimate after Mario Kart 8 and Animal Crossing, I think Smash Ultimate is the third best selling game in Nintendo and the Switch one. So obviously Nintendo would want another Smash game to be released because obviously the money. But at the same time, Sakurai is gonna need some time to work on it. I would say so, especially if he still hasn't started it right now, because there's still nothing, not even a tiny little hint. Because I feel like he still hasn't decided whether or not he wants to make it. Either that or Nintendo hasn't. Maybe Nintendo gives him the money he needs to keep all the characters. Maybe Nintendo really will. They still need to pretty much make like a deal with Sakurai to try and convince him to make the next Smash game. Because I don't think they will make another Smash game without Sakurai, because he's literally the brains behind it. The one who, made it and all that. So will they make one without him? If they do, I don't think it'll be the same. It might be drastically different than what we're used to. Or like, yes, each Smash game does feel different from the other, but knowing that it's not going to be made by Sakurai already gives it that different feel if you try and imagine it. So yeah, but moving on with the comment, if somehow Sakurai isn't working in the next Smash, I guess a lot of non-Nintendo characters will not appear on the next Smash. That would be weird, because the Nintendo characters should be the easiest ones to keep in the game, because it's a Nintendo game. So that assumption is kind of weird. That assumption's kind of weird. I would think if Sakurai is not working in the next Smash, that it would be harder for them to bring back the non-Nintendo characters, because who was the ones that made the deals between them? Obviously, Sakurai had to be involved with him along with Nintendo to try and get that deal to go have Steve, Joker, Terry from Fatal Fury, all these characters that were not Nintendo characters in the game. I would think it's the opposite from what you said, if I'm being honest. Would you rather a Smash Ultimate Deluxe? I answered this question a long time ago I answered this question a long time ago when it was like speculation and all that, when I was watching YouTube videos or going through like social media and all that at that time. And my answer is no. The reason being is that if it's just the same game, it's literally just going to be the same game. And if the only difference is that they're going to add more characters, more DLC, was the whole point of making a deluxe version? Well, the only reason that I would think of making the deluxe version is because there's a Switch 2. And if that's the only reason, if it's just going to be the same game, I'm not even going to bother buying the deluxe version. I'm not going to bother buying the deluxe version if it's going to be most of the same thing. And especially if they won't make any other changes to it, because... But I could see the deluxe version happening only because of it basically keeps all the characters. When it is basically going back to what I was talking about earlier. So in a sense, I'd rather have Sakurai make some hard choices and get rid of some characters, just to make it a whole brand new fresh Smash, than having a deluxe version. That's just how I see it. Would you rather where they have all Smash Ultimate characters, songs, and stages with DLC, plus a few more on the base game, or maybe cut down the roster a bit and focus more on Nintendo characters? I already I think I just answered that. But not really focusing on Nintendo characters because, well, if you mean bringing in more Nintendo characters, then sure, maybe. Because I don't, because if they don't bring in, let's say, some of the non-Nintendo characters, and obviously they're gonna lean more on the Nintendo characters to fill up most of the that they already have to fill in the gaps. I don't think they'll get rid of Nintendo characters because the easier decision is to get rid of the non-Nintendo characters and keep all the Nintendo characters. Which means that that I would assume the Xenoblade characters would be safe because they're Nintendo characters, so Pyramithra is still there. Obviously Shulk. I think there's like speculation that Mio and Noah from Xenoblade 3 might get released. But this is just speculation because there's nothing on the game. There's a lot more characters they can add to replace some of the other characters. But characters like, I mean, I could see Joker coming back because they started adding Persona games in the Switch also. So yeah, we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. But my personal opinion is to just have a brand new Smash game. Not a big fan of the idea of having a deluxe version. I'd rather, like I said, have Sakurai either try and keep the whole roster, because honestly, I don't mind a big roster. Like I said, I can pretty much play most of the roster with a good amount of characters that I'm really good at, and then a handful of characters where I'm really, really good at. I mean, before I used to solely focus on like one or two characters, but I wanted to make it more interesting for myself, so there you go. That's why I decided to learn pretty much most of the roster as I continue playing. It's like I've mentioned in the past, and well, I don't know if I mentioned it in any of the global videos, but in my JP videos, I've mentioned that I've gone to Smash tournaments, Smash Ultimate tournaments in the past, aka Genesis. Was it? Well, it was, what was it called? They only had one of them. I forgot what that one was called because it literally only had one of them before it turned into Level Up Expo, or before it continued in Level Up Expo. But yeah, I went to a handful of tournaments, even locals. So I wouldn't mind doing that for a fresh Smash game. That way the meta is different. People is basically having a fresh slate rather than just having the same deluxe version, and then all the people who basically unless they do updates. Obviously, if they do updates on these characters to, you know, nerf them or buff certain characters, then yeah, I'll still continue playing, knowing that there's going to be updates at the very least. But other than that, yeah, I think I'd rather. Ooh, should I do guts? It's not enough. Okay, let's that. I do want to bring up the guts level, that's why I'm doing that. But other than that, thank you, Rick, for the comment, and also Derpy Noob for the comment. Appreciate it as always. And I guess with that being said, guys, I'm just gonna go focus on the training. That way, I hope I don't make it as long as it normally is. So I'll see you guys at the end of the training. All right. Well, as you can see, this run is definitely not one of the good ones because speed was kind of just peaks. But honestly, if the RNG was good, I could see this being my best setup. Obviously, if I had better speed, guts, RNG, power would be 1200, I would think, and speed would be higher. If I had better speed, RNG could reach 1200, which in turn, power would be 1200. Guts would probably even be 1200 if I had more guts training into it. And then, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep trying this somehow, some way. So, as bad as this run was, I definitely could have been better. So I think I just need to make some adjustments off in between videos and see what I can do for the next one, which I think we'll train Cap next time. Maybe. Yeah, either Cap or someone else. But ending off with 743 speed, 477 stamina, 1031 power, 913 guts, and 958 wise, and no S aptitude. And yeah, this was just kind of a mid-run, if anything. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys did make it this far, I do want to say thank you. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and let me know how you guys are doing with your prep for the CM, which I believe is next week. So we still have some time before the CM, which is good for me because it's going to take me some time. But if there's anything else you want to talk about or ask me, just leave it down in the comment section down below. As long as appropriate, I'll go over it. And if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description down below. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you once again. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next one.